Hey crafty cuties, welcome back to another video. And if you're new, I'm Jessica. This is actually part 2. In the first part of this series, we created this really simple no-sew envelope journal. So you'll want to go check that video out if you want to see how we came up with this. And we're going to just jump right in, and I'm going to show you some really easy ways to make your journals look finished and just some easy no-sew decoration for the pages. So we're going to get started with the inside pocket here and the inside page, but we are going to create a double pocket. And I always like to have a pocket on the inside cover of the page because I think it's just a great spot to put like a tag or some type of just a place where you can kind of introduce what the journal is about. And so I'm just kind of going through to see, so this is a little ripped piece right here. So I'm going to start with a double pocket, and we're going to just take, I have this piece already cut out here that is going to fit perfect. And I'm going to take a second one because we want it to have 2 pockets, and I'm just going to tear this one as well, kind of stick with the theme there. And I'm going to tear down this side. Now these don't need to be perfect sizes or anything like that since we are just ripping it, but okay, so there we go. So of course we're not sewing on this, and therefore I've got my handy dandy glue, and we're gonna go ahead and just right there. Okay, so I think I will use a little bit of inks, and for this decorating video, I am just mostly going to be using the papers that I have, which are scraps from creating this journal, because that's just going to make everything a little bit easier. And I know that when we're creating journals, we end up with so many scraps, and I feel like a lot of times it's just kind of like, what do I do with all of these scraps? So what way better than to just create your own decorations for the journal? So I'm going to go ahead and just get glue in here. I'm going to glue on 3 sides so that the top side, or sorry, the top is open for the pocket. And you want to go ahead and glue down your top pocket first. Whoops. So that you have access to the entire pocket. And I'm going to put it towards the top. Now I typically put pockets more down at the bottom, but since these cute little mushrooms are down here, I decided not to cover that up. Okay, and then we're going to go ahead and just glue the same area, the 3 sides, and we'll just glue this right on top, kind of overlapping that first pocket. Again, then we'll have access to both pockets, because if you glued this one down first and then you glued one on top, you wouldn't be able to get into the bottom one. So just kind of go like that. Perfect. Now we have a great spot for some tags. Okay, for the inside pocket here, I think I'm going to create like a little photo frame. So that's another really fun way to have a spot that you can put like a journaling card or, you know, a photo to kind of introduce to the journal. And I'm just kind of looking to see which paper I want to use. I'm going to use this pink paper, and I'm going to cut it just a teeny bit smaller than the page. I cannot find my trimmer that I like, and it's driving me nuts, guys. I've looked everywhere today. I don't understand. Okay, anyways, so let's see, that's good. And now I need to cut out the inner part of this, and so I'm actually, you know what, this is perfect. I'm going to use this as my guide, and I'm going to just get a pen to draw around that. So if you are not new, then you know I don't like measuring. I don't care about things being perfect, so this is great. Now I want it to be a little bit wider than this, so that's why I have only drawn that part. I'm just going to bring this over a little bit more. Perfect. Now you can totally go ahead and measure so that yours is perfect, but I am just fine with it being like so. Okay, and then we're going to go ahead, and I just I like to do it fast, so I'm just stabbing my scissors in there. I'm gonna cut around. Now this is gonna give us kind of the appearance of a Polaroid picture frame, but you can, you know, do a larger square. You could cut out a shape like a circle or something like that. I think frames are really fun to have in journals, and they're really easy to make. So, all right. There we go. And then, super cute. Now you just want to make sure to give yourself a little bit of space when you are gluing this down. You want to make sure to glue only right at the edge, because if you don't, you're not going to have enough space to put something down into the frame as like a pocket. Just be careful right along that edge. There we go. And I'm even going to glue up to about here so that whatever goes into the pocket can't go all the way down. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and just place this down here like so. Now, since this page is really long, I think I also want to add a little obvious spot for journaling, and this came in the paper pad, and so I think I'm going to actually just kind of trim this down like so. And like so. And maybe I'll even kind of overlap it. Okay, I'm actually going to trim around this part too, because I feel like it doesn't look like it belongs. There. Okay, I'm just going to glue that straight down, and then you have a little journaling spot, a place for a photo, and then over here, perfect spot for some tags and journaling cards. All right, let's move on to the next page. Now, I do want to keep in mind that these are envelopes and we can create them into pockets. So since this paper is so pretty, I don't want to cover all of the pages with some type of a decoration. So we're going to keep this one blank, and I'm actually just going to cut at the top here. And then we'll have a really great spot to place a tag into the envelope. Now, I don't do this with every page, but you certainly can. And I don't have a tag at the moment, but you can see, then we have a great spot for a tag. I'm going to keep this in here so I remember to come back to it. But over here, we're going to work on one of my favorite ways to decorate a page. And let me grab a different paper. I think I'm going to go for the teal here. Yep. And I am going to create a little double pocket, but this time it's going to be a side pocket. So once again, I'm going to trim this down to be just a little bit shorter, or whoops, wow, less wide than the page. So you can, that's great. And then what I'm going to do now is fold this in half. And I always like to take the ink that I have, and just so it's obvious that there are two sections, I could probably grab a different ink color because this one's not showing up as well since it is also blue. I'm just going to take this brown, actually. I think that'll be fine. Yeah. Okay. And then I also like to cut a little like half circle notch. If you have your circle punch, you can grab that, or just go like so. And then you're just going to go ahead and add glue all the way around the three edges, but also in the middle to create two different pockets. And I've just always loved the way that this one looks. I think it's really fun to decorate. You can easily make some little decorations. A lot of times what I like to do though is, I'm just going to tear some of this pretty paper here and just make a fun little cluster. Let's see. This is also from the paper pad. I'm just gonna kind of tear this around as well. Just kind of go like so. And then we'll glue that down right in the center. And then we have our fun little double pocket page. I see this little bird peeking out, and I'm thinking this little bird would be perfect. Or actually, let's go for one of the smaller birds. So always remember that your paper pads can also be used as ephemera by just fussy cutting out the little shapes, and most paper pads have some type of fun little shapes that you can cut out and use instead of, you know, using stickers and die cuts. So there we go, we have our double pocket page. We already have quite a few pockets going on, so for this side, I'm gonna go ahead and create a fun little flip, just like so, to give us more room for journaling. And so I'm just gonna take a piece of paper now that's just a little bit bigger, wider, and the length you can decide on what you want. But I'm gonna go ahead and actually, well, I was gonna look for my bone folder, there it is. Just because this paper is a little thick, I'm gonna create just a little score mark, and I'm not measuring, but just enough, I'll show you. Normally I fold this over, but this paper is a little thicker. You'll see here, just a little fold like so. Very, very easy little flip. I'm going to kind of center it, and we can just go ahead and glue on the flap. And we can decorate the inside many different ways, but so now we have our little flip here. My video just cut off, but I think I got the last of that in the video. Okay, so we're gonna keep this page because I really like how it looks. Let's go ahead, and we have a couple more pages. Let's make a fun little envelope again. Instead of going to use an envelope that's, you know, already made, we're gonna create one, an easy one, out of some of our scrapbook paper. So here we have, it's like 12 by 8, I would say. And what we're gonna do, this is just gonna be an easy envelope. We're going to, I'm thinking this through, which way do I want this to go? Okay, so I'm gonna fold over one piece, and again, I want this to be a little less wide than my page, so this will be a little under 4 inches across, and I'm not gonna measure this one, keeping that simple. And then I'm gonna go ahead and trim off about that much, because this will be the flap of the envelope. I can even, and I have to remember that I still need this to be less than 4, well, yeah. Okay, so now you can do all kinds of different flaps. I'm just gonna start out by trimming that down a bit, but if you wanted the typical triangle flap, you can cut a triangle out. I'm gonna go ahead, see my trimmer is just awful, but that's okay. I think I am going to find my scissors, and I'm gonna go ahead and cut at an angle. Now I'm gonna keep that piece so I can bring it over to the other side. So, and I'm gonna flip it over so that it's opposite. And then I can go ahead and kind of try my best to cut out that same shape so they match, but really no biggie because no one's going to be measuring. There. Okay, so now I'm just gonna take some glue, and we just need it along the 2 edges. If you want, you can also cut out a little notch at the top of the envelope, totally up to you. But I'm just gonna go ahead and go like so. Then you have a really fun little place to actually tuck something away. And again, you can decorate this up, make it pretty. I'm just gonna add a little bit of ink. I'm just gonna keep those jagged edges because I kind of like it. We're gonna go ahead and just glue this entire envelope down onto the page. You could also have this be a floating envelope if you want, but I feel like it kind of makes it fun when it's just on a page. There we go. You can also add fun little closures and things like that, but I think I'm just gonna, you know what, maybe what I will do is I'm just gonna take this scrap right here. Fun little bird. Is that what I want? Actually, instead of the bird, I went ahead and just cut this out. It was on one of the journaling cards. And I'm gonna glue on half of the butterfly. I kind of measure though, because then the other half will be the little closure where you're, where this can tuck under. All right. All right, I have two more ideas, so I am actually going to cover up part of this page, but basically I'm going to take a piece of paper that's about 6 inches by 7.5, and so it's a little shorter, but it's wider, and basically I'm going to just fold both sides in so that they meet. You can take your time and, you know, make these make it more even if you want, but I am going to just kind of wing it. And I want this a little bit shorter just because I want those mushrooms to show underneath there. I'm just gonna make some, I think they're called Dutch doors. And it's just kind of a fun little feature in a journal. Now I normally like to tie something around, but I don't want to add too much bulk, so I have a little bit of embroidery floss. I chose a bright orange just to kind of stick with the colors here. And so you're gonna see, so I'm gluing the entire back, and I'm just gonna take this embroidery floss like so, because it's gonna get glued down. Whoops, don't glue the ends down though, like I almost just did. And we're just gonna glue this right down to the page, like so. And then you have this whole entire area. Again, you can cover this and make it pretty, but I'm gonna leave it all blank for now. And then you can take your floss and just tie up a little bow to keep everything closed, and it looks really cute. So there we have that, and I'm just gonna decorate one last page right on the back here, and this is really simple. I just took one of the journaling cards from the pack, and we're just gonna create another little flip, deciding which page I want it to go on. I think we'll have it on here, and I'm just gonna take some washi tape for this one. This is really thick, so I'm just gonna kind of toss that in half. And I'm gonna go ahead and just put a little bit of the washi right on top. I think that looks kind of upside down there, the tape. And then flip it up, and we'll put this on the inside. Like so. There. That's a really easy way to create a little flip, and oh no, I got ink on it from, that's okay. Okay guys, that is everything for today's video. So I went ahead and kind of finished this up and added a few tags and things, so I figured I would show you a finished flip through. Just made a few tags, and all of the tags and like journaling cards came from this paper pack as well. Added one of the little journaling cards here. I added just a tag that I made out of the scrapbook paper there. Made some journaling cards. I always like, for these double pockets, I always like to add like a little tab on a journaling card or tag there. So I have two of the same. There's the flip. Added a clear pocket here just with a manila tag because I love this paper, don't want to cover it up. And I think that is everything. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I hope that you enjoyed seeing how to create and finalize this journal. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye guys.